All right, she lives again, boys. So I posted that video. I just want to post this one in case anybody runs into the same problem, because it's kind of a nightmare unless you do you know, some research. So what had happened as I posted the first video, the truck kept cutting off like a few minutes after I'd started, and I thought it was maybe the CPS. And then I was also thinking that maybe my fuel might have gelled up a little bit, so maybe it was like losing fuel pressure or something, so it was cutting off. So that night, after I'd posted the video about the truck cutting off, I took the fuel bowl filter out, and I checked it. It didn't gel up or anything, but stupidly, I had put it back in, and diesel fuel fell out the sides, and it got the fuel bowl heater element plug wet on the outside. So I didn't think anything of it. I didn't try to start the truck anymore that night. The next day I came out, and the truck had no wait to start light. The glow plug relay wasn't popping on or anything. So I posted the second video, and you know, everybody thought it was my PCM or my fuel bowl element, which I looked at last night. I had looked at my fuses, the 22 max or the 30 amp maxi fuse and the 22 spot, and it was so dark. I looked at it and I couldn't tell that it was I didn't think that it was burnt. But here, let me get it and I'll show you guys. Get back in the truck so you can hear me. Hopefully it doesn't cut off. So if you look on this side right here, it's actually burnt. It's got a gap in it. You can kind of, yeah, right there. It's burnt. And in the nighttime, I could not see that. So I did not realize that I had a blown fuse, which everybody said I should have a blown fuse if it's my fuel bowl heater. So I was, you know, I was really worried because I thought it was my PCM. I changed the fuses out because there's two 30 amp maxi fuses right next to each other in the 22 spot and the 21 spot. So I switched them around. Still no wait to start light, and that one didn't look like it was blown either. I come out today, and thank God I did this. I came out today, and on this side right here where my thumb is, it's blown. Let me see if I can get it on. So right there, right here where my thumb is, there's a hold on. There's a gap in it, and this fuse blew too. So I looked at it today, noticed that the fuses were blown. So I went, got two new fuses, two new 30 amp maxi fuses from O'Reilly's. Came back, and the best way to unhook your element, if you're going to leave it unhooked for a while, you can unhook it from the bottom or from the outside on the bottom, but you have to get in there afterwards and tape it up, because you're still going to have a live wire, and if you don't tape it up, then it's got the possibility of shorting out again, and you're going to be stuck in the same situation. So the best bet, if you're not going to replace the element, which I'll show you the element, this right here sits in the bottom of your fuel bowl, and the fuel stem goes through the middle, and that's what holds it in place. It sits like that, and this is your plug right here. That's what you got to unplug and take out. So be cautious though. Whenever you take the fuel stem out, it is reverse threads. So instead of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, it's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. So you got to turn it, you know, you got to do it opposite of what you would regularly do. And it should just be hand tight in there. You know, it shouldn't be torqued down or anything. You should just be able to go in there and twist it with your fingers. There's really no need to torque it down. I don't even think there's a torque spec for it. So whenever you put it back in, you don't have to put it in super tight, just hand tight. That's all you really need to do. So you take that out, and then you put the stem back in, And whenever you do it, you're gonna have to get the diesel out somehow. So you can either take a turkey baster or some type of syringe or something and suck it out, or you can take rags or paper towels and put in there and soak it all up and get it to the point where you can take that out. Now, whenever you put everything back together, you're gonna want to fill that fuel bowl back up to about halfway. So just get a little water bottle, fill it up. I went to the store and I filled up 3 water bottles full of diesel. I only used 1 and then a very tiny little bit of the other one, which I really didn't even need the other one. So just 1 full water bottle, cut the top of it off, fill it back up, and that'll be good. Because whenever you put that filter back in, it's going to displace everything, and you're going to wind up, if you put too much, it's going to fall out over the side. You're going to get shit wet. You just don't need to do it. So just fill it up about halfway, put the filter back in, tighten it down. You want the top of the filter hand tight. You can take a screwdriver, put it through the slots, and maybe do it just a quarter of a turn more if you really want to make sure you don't have leaks, but you don't need to over tighten that down or anything. It's got an O-ring. As long as your O-ring's good, it's not going to leak. So once you get done with that, all you got to do is just go replace those 2 30 amp fuses. Come back in, turn her on. The waits to start light should be back on. You should hear your glow plug relay pop on, and that means your glow plugs are working. And then start her up. So I don't know if that was my issue the whole time, because before that happened, before my no wait to start and the glow plug and everything, the PCM wasn't getting power. I was dealing with the shutoff issue. So I don't know if I still have a CPS issue. I don't know if it's whenever it gets hot. So I don't know if it's the ICP. My ICP is leaking a little bit. So it could be that, because I'm pretty sure once the truck gets hot, the ICP, if it's going bad, that's what'll turn your truck off maybe, or I don't know. But the truck has been sitting here and idling for at least 10-15 minutes, more than probably about 15 minutes. And it's almost up to 100 degrees oil temp. The coolant, I have an oversized radiator. I have one from an IDI, because this truck is 94.5. So it still had some IDI parts, so it doesn't have the newer radiator style setup with a reservoir on the side where you fill it up and everything like that. It just has a regular 4-row radiator from an IDI, which is kind of overkill. It keeps the truck majorly cool. Maybe a little too cool sometimes. The highest I see this truck get is whenever I'm really driving it, it'll sometimes hit 180, but most of the time it's in the 150 to 165 range, sometimes 170. So it keeps it really cool. My heat still works and everything, so that's not an issue. But the truck's idling now. I just wanted to share that in case anybody else is having the same problem. Check that fuse if it's blown. If you have the older style, I think it's the Buseman. These are the let me see. Yeah, the Buseman style fuses. They're really hard to see. They're gonna break in these little where they dip down on either side. That's where they're going to break, and if you don't really look at them, you're not going to notice that they were blown. But these sure as shit were blown. They were just hard to see. If you come into that issue, you have no way to start light. You can either unplug your it's gonna, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be your fuel bowl heater, unless your PCM just lost power. But yeah, just unplug that fuel bowl heater. If you do it from the side, like I said, which I think it's the second plug down on the driver's side. And I think it's the smaller one. There's a square one that some people told me it was a square one, but I think it was the smaller one. But you can either unplug it from on the side, from the outside. If you do that, you're gonna have to pull that plug up, and you're gonna have to tape it. All right. If you don't tape it up, you're gonna short it out. If you do it from the inside, that's the best way, because you just unplug it. It's not ever gonna short out. Replace the fuses, and you're good to go. Anyway, I will see you guys later.
Bye.
She wanted to say bye.